Wrigley Field. The sun is shining. It's a gorgeous day for Cubs baseball. The Reds in town to wrap up a 3-game series, and a happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. It's the Hyundai leadoff man on WGN Sports. And hi again, everyone. A happy Mother's Day. I'm Len Casper. Welcome to the leadoff man. The Cubs with a thrilling comeback win in the 9th inning yesterday to even up this series at a game apiece. Let's check in on the highlights. It was an overcast and rainy afternoon here at Wrigley Field as right-hander Casey Coleman was dealing by far his best outing of the season. 6 innings plus 4 hits. Gave up a couple of runs, but the Cubs would get the lead on Blake DeWitt's home run in the 4th inning. A rare start for him at second. That was his first blast of the year. It came off Bronson Arroyo. 9th inning now, Cubs trail 2-1. Carlos Pena with his 3rd home run in 4 days. And all of a sudden, it's a tie ball game. With a man on first, Jeff Baker with a fly ball deep center, wind blowing, it's raining. Stubbs can't catch it. The ball hits the warning track, bounces into the stands, and Blake DeWitt told he has to go back to third. But no worries, Kosuke Fukudome comes up next. A comebacker base hit off Francisco Cordero. Cubs win 3-2 the final as Marcos Mateo gets his first major league win in relief, but it was really about Casey Coleman on the mound. The Cubs really needed a quality start from him, and they got it after a couple of rough ones in his last 2 outings. As we go to break, our Chicago Northwest Hyundai Dealers Spotlight reminds us to check out the award-winning Hyundai Sonata and the all-new Hyundai Elantra at myhyundai.com. The Hyundai Leadoff Man, brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Check out the award-winning Hyundai Sonata and the all-new Elantra at myhyundaichicago.com. Off to a slow start, but an excellent outing against New Orleans for AAA Iowa. DJ LeMahieu at AA with a 9-game hitting streak, and Nelson Perez, 4th multi-hit game over his last 5. How about the Daytona Cubs 22-8 in the Florida State League? Well, we showed you that very bizarre ground rule double. The ball bounced off the warning track off the bat of Jeff Baker and into the stands. And talking to a lot of people who've watched a lot of Cubs baseball here at Wrigley Field, they had never seen that happen. Fortunately, Kosuke won the game for the Cubs, but let's hear from the manager, Mike Quade, on that bizarre play in the 9th.
You guys have been here longer than me, probably. I mean, I've been in and out of here, but Have we seen a ball hit the warning track and leave here after weeks of rain and everything else? I mean, I don't know. And then you've got the added thing where the basket serves as a barrier as well. You could hit 58,000 fungos and not have that happen again. And it is what it is. And I went out to talk to Jerry as much out of frustration as anything else. Between the dugout and getting to him, can I come up with something, okay, to have some kind of conversation and say, man, did he touch it? If he knocks it out, and we had a recent play in L.A. where there was fan interference down the right field line, and the umpires placed the runners where they thought they would be, as opposed to just a straight ground rule double. And I was working that angle. I had nowhere to go. So just an unusual thing, and thank God for Fluke getting a big hit and picking us up. But those two at bats from Bacon Fluke were fantastic.
Time now for Bob's AutoZone Tip of the Day. 3 words today. Honor your mother. Tip of the day brought to you by AutoZone. For the auto parts, accessories, and advice you need, get in the zone. AutoZone. Hyundai Leadoff Man, brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Check out the award-winning Hyundai Sonata and the all-new Elantra at myhyundaichicago.com. Well, the key to any successful team is good starting pitching, and it's been a struggle for the Cubs, but I think we've seen some good signs lately, particularly from the guys at the top. Ryan Dempster, the Cubs' opening day starter, without a quality start through the month of April, but by far his best outing on Tuesday. Went 7 innings for just the second time, got a no decision, but the Cubs would win that game 4-1. For the Reds today, right-hander Johnny Cueto makes his season debut. He's coming off the disabled list. He had irritation in his right biceps and triceps, a career best 12 wins last year. It's Mother's Day. Pink bats are out today. The Reds and Cubs in the rubber match. Next.
Wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. Love you, Mom.
From Wrigley Field as we celebrate and honor all the moms out there. It's a Mother's Day edition of Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. The Reds and Cubs in the rubber game. We welcome Cub fans from all over the country watching on WGN America, America's home for baseball. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. Bob Brenly and Len Casper with you. Nice day at the ballpark. Wind blowing in, but the sun is shining, and the Cubs coming off a thrilling win yesterday. And, Bob, they've won 3 of their last 4.
And they've been doing it the way the Cubs are going to have to do it if they win ball games this year. They've gotten outstanding starting pitching. The bullpen has been nails, and they've started to hit some home runs. We've said it right from the beginning of this season. This is a team that's built to slug. Hopefully, as the weather warms up, the home run totals will go up as well.
And it's an individual sport, but it does take a team to win games, and that was the case yesterday.
Yeah, contributions from a lot of guys that we haven't seen a lot of contributions from, including Blake DeWitt, a guy that only had 1 start before yesterday, but had a big day. His first home run of the season was 2 for 4. Kosuke just continues to rake in that leadoff spot. And Carlos Pena flexing his muscle with his 3rd home run in the last 4 games.
And that's good to see from the left-handed batters in particular. We've said throughout the series, these are the key guys for the Reds. They were all big Friday, and they were 0 for yesterday.
Well, outstanding job by Casey Coleman and others to keep those guys in check. And Ryan Dempster with good career numbers against this Reds offense. Hopefully more of the same today.
All right, down to the field. The Mesmers have God Bless America and our national anthem.
As the Illinois Army National Guard and the Chicago Cubs welcome a very special guest to Wrigley Field. Staff Sergeant Edmund Schaefer was part of the Alpha Battery 2-122nd Field Artillery Unit. He was deployed to Afghanistan in 2008 and earned a Bronze Star for his brave service during his 2 years overseas. The Chicago Cubs would like to take this moment to thank Staff Sergeant Schaefer, along with all our servicemen and women, both in this country and around the world, for their selfless dedication, courage, and sacrifice in protecting our freedom and defending this great country. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay standing. Kindly remove your caps and join Wayne and Kathleen Mesmer as they honor America with God Bless America, followed by our national anthem.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home. sweet home. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Cubs trying to gain some momentum as Carlos Pena went deep to tie it up. The Cubs would later win it. And it's Mother's Day 2011.
Hello, I'm Carlos Pena. Everyone, happy Mother's Day. Love you, Mom.
Chicago Cubs baseball brought to you by Bud Light Lime. The just right taste of Bud Light with a refreshing splash of 100% natural lime flavor. Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball and your Chicago Cubs. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Ford, the newest vehicles on the road are now at your local Ford store, like the all-new Ford Explorer, SUV, 100% reinvented. Visit localfordstores.com. Ford, drive one. And by the Illinois Lottery. How does $1,000 a week every week for the rest of your life sound? Then play Cash for Life instant games from the Illinois Lottery. The longer you live, the more you get. Cubs baseball in high definition is brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Nice gesture, as a lot of times on Sundays the kids come out and take the different defensive positions and get an autographed ball from the players. Well, the moms today receive that honor.
And not only an autographed ball, but a rose from the players at the various positions. Very nice touch.
MLB and Susan G. Komen for the Cure, raising awareness for breast cancer. So you're going to see pink bats, pink wristbands, and even some pink shoes today. That's a good look. Alfonso Soriano on a bittersweet Mother's Day, no question. His mom Andrea passed away this most recent offseason, and Alfonso welcomed a group out here and raising awareness for his foundation. And the pink scorecard and lineup sheets in each of the two dugouts. Well, let's get Dusty Baker's Cincinnati Reds lineup against a former Red, Ryan Dempster. Stubbs, Renteria, Votto at the top. Phillips, Bruce, who had the big homer on Friday. Gomes in left. Ramon Hernandez, good numbers against Ryan Dempster. Miguel Cairo, former Cub, is at third. They've had a lot of injuries at that position. And the pitcher's Johnny Cueto.
And let's check out how the Cubs take the field defensively today behind Ryan Dempster. Brought to you by Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball and your Chicago Cubs. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Soriano, Bird, and Fukudome left to right across the outfield. Ramirez at third. Starlin Castro with a rare off day yesterday, coincidentally on the anniversary of his first game in the major leagues. He's back in there at shortstop today. Jeff Baker at second. Carlos Pena over at first. Giovanni Soto will be doing the catching for right-hander Ryan Dempster. Ignore those numbers, because Ryan Dempster sure does. The only thing that matters is what he did his last time out. Hopefully he can build on that, has the confidence to go out there and pound that strike zone.
That was his 34th birthday on Tuesday. As we are underway, fastball missed outside to Drew Stubbs. It's cool in the shade, warm in the sun, as Stubbs turns on one and picks up a leadoff base hit. Soriano gets it back in. Stubbs on his way to second, and the throw a little offline. That's a hustle double for the Reds' leadoff hitter, Drew Stubbs.
Like a more accurate throw may have had Stubbs at second base. Pulls that ball toward the left field corner. Soriano does a nice job of cutting it off. His throw unfortunately tails back to the infield side of the bag, and Stubbs on at second base with a leadoff double.
Mid-50s and a northeast wind, meaning it's blowing in. Just 6 miles an hour. Edgar Renteria lays down a really nice bunt. That'll get Stubbs to third. We talk about this a lot, Bob. I don't love that play in the first inning. I guess if I'm the Cubs, I do. But Dusty, I guess, managing just to get the lead here in the first inning, something as you talk about a lot, Jim Leland used to do. But you got a guy hitting .327 who gives up himself. Bob Davidson works the plate. Wendelstedt, Carapazza, and Lane are on the bases.
And we don't know for sure that Dusty Baker put the sacrifice bunt sign on there.
True.
Edgar Renteria may have done it on his own.
Actually, that's a very good possibility. Here's Joey Votto. Quiet day yesterday. He's 1 for 5 with 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, an RBI in the run and a run in the series. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Oh, a great job by Casey Coleman against Joey Votto in the game yesterday, pounding him inside with fastballs, tying him up, not allowing him to extend his arms, and then going away with off-speed pitches. Yeah, pretty much every at bat that Casey faced Joey Votto yesterday.
Caught the outside corner. A couple of Canadian-born major leaguers doing battle here. From British Columbia, and the other guy from Ontario. Votto's from Toronto. Ryan Dempster from the Vancouver area.
East versus West, bragging rights.
That's right. Votto went, and that's his 5th strikeout of the series. Bob Davidson just kind of waves him away.
Which is a highly unusual. Bob Davidson never shied away from a confrontation with a hitter. Joey Votto felt he was able to check his swing. Bob Davidson didn't even ask for help from the third base umpire, said he saw it well enough to make the call. Well, we've seen Joey Votto ejected from a ball game after his first at bat here before.
Yes, we have.
Last 4th of July, I believe it was.
Last year, he had reached base 41 games in a row, and it was snapped that day. And going into action this afternoon, 33 in a row to start this season. Well, it's funny how it works in baseball. I'm sure Joey Votto had a great morning. Good batting practice session, excited to play today. And about 6 minutes into the game, he's already talking to himself. Fly ball to right, Kosuke coming in, and that runner is stranded at third. So the Cubs are coming up, and a few umpires in the stands helping out Joey Votto.
Clubhouse crew, we want to wish our mothers, the mothers of our children, and all the mothers out there a happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Great stuff from Tom Otis Hellman and the best in the business, the Cubs clubhouse crew with special Mother's Day outfits today.
That's about as nice as you will ever see those guys dressed, just for Mom.
To the Cubs lineup here in a second as the guy who won the game yesterday, Kosuke Fukudome, takes strike one. Game-ending RBI single off Francisco Cordero to win it 3-2. Johnny Cueto making his season debut as he comes off the DL. And it's a ball and a strike. Now 1-2.
And we showed you the clubhouse staff here at Wrigley Field, and Otis and Tim want to wish their mother, Ruth Hellman, a happy Mother's Day. Jonathan wishes Anna Marie Sperando a happy Mother's Day. Same thing for Danny and Mary Ellen Mueller. Patrick Bruno wants to wish his mom Patty. Rich Rupp, his mother Joan, and Gary Stark, his mother Myrtle. Happy Mother's Day to all.
Base hit left field. Fukudome is aboard. Now the rest of the Cubs Pepsi lineup brought to you by Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of MLB and your Chicago Cubs. 0 calories maximum Pepsi taste. Bob mentioned Castro sat for the first time this season yesterday. He's back in there. Marlon Byrd really heating up.
Quick look at the Reds defensively. Gomes, Stubbs, and Bruce across the outfield left to right. Miguel Cairo, the 5th third baseman for the Reds, with Scott Rowland on the disabled list since April 24th. Renteria and Phillips up the middle of the field. Votto at first. Ramon Hernandez doing the catching. For a man making his first start of the season, Johnny Cueto. Was not that impressive in his rehab outings. 4 rehab outings for the AAA Louisville Ball Club. Went 0-2 with a 6.28 ERA. Gave up a 3.10 opponent's batting average in his rehab starts.
So he's off the DL today. Homer Bailey came off on Thursday and beat Houston. Right-hander Carlos Fisher was sent to the minor leagues to make room for Cueto as Castro fouls back.
And for Cueto, you'll see a 3-pitch mix: fastball, slider, changeup. A lot of fastballs, a lot of sliders, a few changeups, although we may see some more of those pitches today because the Cubs are a team that struggles against the straight changeup.
Career high 12 wins in 185 2/3 innings last season. Inside, and it's 1-2.
And a pretty good chance you'll see a high pitch count relatively early in the ball game for Johnny Cueto if the Cubs hitters can be patient. It's not unusual for him to hit the 100 pitch mark after 4 1/3, 4 2/3, maybe into the 5th inning.
3-5 lifetime against the Cubs. 1-3 here, but a 2.92 Wrigley Field ERA. He's only 25, 5'10", 220 pounds. San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican Republic. Still 2-2 to Castro. That ball sent Carlos Zambrano scrambling off the steps. If I'm in the dugout, Bob, I'd want to sit behind Carlos. I know I'm protected. Backhanded by Cairo, and they will get 2. 5-4-3 on the double play.
Where the key to that double play, Len, is always how quickly can the third baseman get rid of the ball. We know Brandon Phillips has electric hands over there in the middle. But the key is Cairo getting the ball to his second baseman in a hurry, which he does. Gives Phillips enough time to avoid the sliding runner and complete the double play.
Well, Chris Valaika started yesterday and really his 5th on their depth chart at third base. You mentioned Roland on the DL, Juan Francisco's on the DL. Paul Janisch injured his ankle on Friday. Cairo was battling a sore knee, so it was Valaika yesterday. And Miguel Cairo well enough today to get the nod. It's kind of like the drummer from Spinal Tap over there to start the season. Marlon Byrd fouls off, 1-1.
Hey, we want to let our AT&T UVerse viewers in Chicago know that during every Cubs home game this season, if you go to channel 780 or high def channel 1780, you can see a special multi-view presentation that shows you all of our different live camera angles right here at Wrigley Field. It's pretty cool. So if you want to direct the game along with Skip Ellison, give a look to AT&T UVerse channel 780 or high def channel 1780.
2-1 to Marlon Byrd, who has a 9-game hitting streak. He's the only player this season to have 2 9-game streaks. The longest was Andre Ethier's 30-gamer, and it was snapped yesterday in New York. And he has crushed Johnny Cueto. 4 hits and 5 previous at bats, and working with a 3-1 count. Marlon has always used the pink bat on Mother's Day. Said even when he got sent back to AAA, he used the pink bat. Some guys are a little superstitious about their bats. They'll use that in BP and then go back to their normal bat. Got him. fastball on the outside corner, and another batter upset with Bob Davidson. After one, no score. Team have a ball presented by Bank of America coming up Wednesday, May 25th at 2:30. Collect autographs on an authentic MLB baseball from the 2011 Cubs players and coaches in attendance. Limited tickets are available for $300 each. Proceeds benefit Chicago Cubs charities. You can visit Cubs.com or call 773-404-CUBS for tickets. Jay Bruce with 7 home runs, big 3-run shot. Turned the game around on Friday. That was off Matt Garza. And a 2-0 count. Dempster with that wide stance as he goes into his windup. And a strike to make it 2-1.
This is a battle of the ticks right here. Ryan Dempster's got his little thing he does with the glove, and Jay Bruce takes his right hand off the bat and raises it above his head. It's all part of the pre-pitch routine that guys go through. You saw Johnny Gomes grabs the bill of that helmet and cranks it up and down to try to get a real good look at the pitcher. Jay Bruce looks like he's raising his hand, wants to go to the restroom. Most guys don't like to take a hand off the bat at that point in their setup. You try to get a good grip. Jay Bruce using 2 batting gloves, probably has lots of pine tar and stick them on his hands. And usually once you get a grip, you want to leave your hand on the bat. Doesn't seem to bother Jay Bruce.
No, as he hits a rope into right field. Second time in the first 2 innings. They put the leadoff man on.
Hey, Cub fans, if you want to manage a game along with Mike Quade, log on to WGNTV.com right now and click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner to connect to all the up-to-the-minute stats and information while you're watching at home. Game Zone is sponsored by The Great Escape, pools, patio sets, play sets, hot tubs, and more.
There's Johnny Gomes. 1 on, nobody out. Dempster started twice against the Reds last year, suffered the loss both times. 5-6 lifetime. He got traded from Florida to the Reds in a deal involving Juan Encarnacion in 2002. Spent a lot of time on the DL. Had Tommy John surgery while he was in Cincinnati. And then eventually became a free agent and signed with the Cubs. Quick throw to first, and Bruce is back. You see former Cub Billy Hatcher helping him out from that first base coach's box.
And Bruce will run. This entire Reds team pretty much up and down the lineup will pick their spots to steal bases. Bruce 4 out of 5 on the season. And I really think that's the one thing that sets the Reds apart from the other teams in the Central Division. If they're not swinging the bats well, but they get the right guys on base, they have enough team speed to manufacture some runs. They can steal bases. Got several guys in their lineup that can score from first on an extra base hit.
This will be like a sac bunt. The intent of Johnny Gomes as Baker throws him out.
Johnny Gomes' intent is never to hit a ground ball to the right side of the infield. He's looking to jerk something in the bleachers in left field, but that time got jammed by the Ryan Dempster sinker, and it's a productive out for the Reds as he moves Jay Bruce into scoring position with 1 out.
Hernandez 6 for 12 lifetime with a home run versus Ryan Dempster. And a strike. The giveaway today, appropriately enough, pink caps with that Cubs logo. Chicago Cubs charities and the Cubs wives collected $5,000 for the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation yesterday as they sold the Cubs for the Cure bracelets at the gates. Base hit. He's now 7 for 13, and Ramon Hernandez gives the Reds a 1-0 lead.
We highlighted Votto, Phillips, and Bruce, the guys in the middle of this Reds lineup, as the guys you have to be careful of. But Ramon Hernandez drives home the first run of the game out of that 7 spot in the lineup. He's going to prove once again, if you've got a bat in your hand, you can be dangerous. Hernandez continues to wear out Ryan Dempster.
Now the well-traveled Miguel Cairo. Mention Alfonso Soriano hosted 40 kids and family members from the Connections for Abused Women and their children today. Ryan Dempster hosted 100 breast cancer survivors and their families for today's game. Both also bought vouchers for those fans to enjoy food while enjoying the ball game. Here's a pitch. Bouncer foul. You can email us. LennonBob@Tribune.com. Please follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. Two hits and a run for the Reds here in the second inning. Cairo bounces to Jeff Baker. A little flip to Castro. Relay late.
A lot of options on that play for a second baseman. You can step up into the baseline, apply the tag, and try to complete the relay throw on your own. But you could see Hernandez was going to stop and not give Jeff Baker that opportunity. So instead, he shovels on to Castro, and the throw back to first just a little bit late.
Cueto, a career 097 hitter.
Hey, Len, want to wish a happy birthday to our good buddy Melvin Gunn. It's from Joe Kwanzaa, but it's from all of us. Melvin, happy birthday. Won't say how old you are, even though they wanted me to throw you under the bus.
Yeah, I think he hit a milestone last year. He doesn't look his age, let's put it that way. Dempster will flip to Pena. The Reds get the lead. A run on 2 hits. They strand 1. It's 1-0.
Time for a flashback. We go back to July 9th, 2005. Adam Greenberg, his first at bat in the major leagues. The first pitch he saw from Valerio de los Santos hits him in the head. Never had another at bat, never had another plate appearance at the major league level. Spent 5.5 years battling concussion-like symptoms. Tried out for the New York Mets this spring training. Won a job in the minor leagues with the Mets, and there's a happy ending to this story for Adam Greenberg. A week ago this past Friday, playing for the Bridgeport Bluefish in the Atlantic League against the Long Island Ducks, Adam Greenberg once again faced Valerio de los Santos and got a base hit against him.
Wow, 2005. It's hard to believe it's been 6 years. And as you mentioned, that's the only pitch he's seen, and he really didn't see it in the major leagues.
Well, he has some former big league company playing for the Bridgeport Bluefish. A lot of former major leaguers, a lot of former Cubs on that list.
What was the date again? July 8th?
July 9th, 2005.
The day before, Matt Merton made his major league debut. I remember Merton and Greenberg were both called up. I think Corey Patterson had been sent to the minors with Jason DuBois. As Cubs were trying to mix things up. Dusty Baker, you saw in the shot, was the Cubs manager as Ramirez takes the walk to lead off the second.
Second baseman, number 20, Jeff Baker.
Jeff Baker in for Darwin Barney. Baker came off the bench and hit that ground rule double that we still can't believe. Ball hit the warning track and bounced into the just over the basket and out of play, and that kept the Cubs, at least for the moment, from winning the game. It was a wet warning track. It had been raining.
Just the geometry of that basket and the wall and the warning track would tell you that's an extremely odd thing to have happen here at Wrigley Field, to have a ball actually hit on that track, find a way over the basket up into the stands without ricocheting back into play. We were talking to Keith Moreland earlier today, who's played a lot of ball games and watched a lot of ball games in this ballpark, and he said he has never seen it before. Boy, Red center fielder Drew Stubbs was having all kinds of issues with that ball to begin with. A late stab, comes up empty and bounces up into the front row.
And that forced Blake DeWitt to have to stop at third. He had already scored. Ground ball, diving stop. Cairo from his knees gets one out at second base. Had a little trouble with the exchange, but got it to Phillips to force Ramirez.
Cairo with a nice diving stop of what looked like a base hit going into left field. You can see he actually took a look at the baseball there before delivering on to Brandon Phillips at second base. Occasionally when that infielder dives for a ball like that, you use your bare hand to brace your fall, and when you reach into the glove to grab the baseball, you find out you've got a handful of dirt between your skin and the baseball. That time Cairo able to make a good throw for the force at second.
Now the major league leader in home runs with 11. Another guy who had a day off yesterday, Alfonso Soriano. Big numbers against Johnny Cueto. Inside 2-0.
Alfonso obviously got in your closet this morning to find those shoes.
Can't say I have any shoes that look quite like that. 2-1. It's not only Mother's Day, but it's also Catherine Zambrano's 8th birthday, and Dad Carlos wants to wish Catherine a happy 8th. Also, congrats to longtime Cubs season ticket holder Carol Haddon, now grandmother of twins Gabe and Olivia Haddon. Cubs will be off tomorrow, and the St. Louis Cardinals, currently leading the division, will be here on Tuesday night. They were no hit into the 8th inning last night by Giovanni Gallardo as he helped the Brewers end a 7-game losing streak. A pop-up that'll be pushed out of play by the wind. Make sure you check out our WGN baseball blog on WGNTV.com. I have a Mother's Day post. We have some fun photos from around the ballpark this morning. As always, game notes from stats, much more at WGNTV.com. I should follow up. I mentioned Matt Merton. You gave the Adam Greenberg update. Matt Merton's in Japan and had a record-breaking season last year. He broke Ichiro's record for hits in a single season. Merton had 214. Shallow right. Bruce will get to the spot. Now the schedule was 14 games shorter back in 1994 when Ichiro had 210 hits, but that's still a very impressive season, and I'd be real surprised and I guess personally, because I like him, disappointed if Matt doesn't get another shot at the big leagues at some point. He's not even 30 yet.
I don't think anybody ever doubted Matt Merton's ability to hit major league pitching. There was some question about his base running and maybe his defense, but that kid could hit. We know that. He proved it over in Japan.
Carlos Pena has homered in 3 of the last 4 games. after going over a month to start the season without a long ball. He tied the game with a home run, but earlier he laid down a 2-strike bunt hit.
Second time this season that he's dropped a base hit bunt down that third base side with 2 strikes.
One and one. He loves May. Not a big fan of April. That would be the analysis on that stat. Fought that one off, 1 and 2. Bob, another no-hitter. We've had 2 this week. Justin Verlander on Saturday with his second career no-no. It was at Toronto. He was still throwing 98 in the 9th inning. He hit 101 earlier in the game.
Boy, watching the way he was pitching at the end of that ball game, you had the feeling if it would have been a doubleheader and you started him in the second game, he might have thrown 2 no-hitters yesterday. Really had everything going. And we were talking about Kerry Wood's 20 strikeout game against the Houston Astros on those very rare days when the physical and the mental are in perfect sync and everything is working exactly the way you want it to. And Justin Verlander had one of those afternoons yesterday.
Just outside, 3 and 2. Baker will get a head start with 2 outs. Tough pitch to take, but he's got a keen eye.
Yeah, he sure does. Just a little bit of tailing action at the very end of that pitch took it out of the strike zone.
It has been the year of the pitcher. There's no doubt about it. Jaime Garcia had a perfect game into the 8th on Friday for St. Louis. We mentioned Gallardo into the 8th with a no-no yesterday. Anibal Sanchez has no hit Washington through 6. We'll keep you posted as Pena takes a called third. 1-0 Reds.
To my mom, Emma Bird, and happy Mother's Day to my wife, Andrea Bird, and all blessings to you.
And we want to wish a very happy Mother's Day to one of the most dedicated fans of WGN Sports, 58 years and counting. Lois Wilkie celebrating her special day today here at Wrigley Field. Hoping the Cubs can win this series after evening it up yesterday. top three. It's Stubbs, Renteria, and Votto. Stubbs with a leadoff double would be stranded at third. It's a rocket at Ramirez, who makes a play. Self-defense there by Aramis.
Well, you have to play shallow against Drew Stubbs because he will bunt for a base hit, and he does have outstanding speed. You better be able to react quickly, and Ramirez is able to on this rocket hit right at him. A little bit of hooking action. Nice play.
Renteria laid down a sac bunt in the first. Not sure if he did it on his own or not. But the Reds followed that up with a strikeout and a fly out. And Dempster got out of it. We had a nice big breakfast here at the ballpark, but I hope you left a little extra room for some Vienna beef hot dogs we'll be sampling today as we continue to eat everything imaginable around baseball. Bounding ball to the shortstop Castro as he gets Edgar Renteria.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN TV is sponsored in part by Mega Millions and now Powerball from the Illinois Lottery. What a great Mother's Day gift. Tuesday's Mega Millions jackpot is $18 million, while Wednesday's Powerball jackpot stands at $65 million.
In the dirt to Joey Votto. 2 outs, nobody on. Fly to left. Soriano with a flip downs, and he just can't quite get there. That ball hit right near that sidewall.
Everything imaginable working against Soriano on that particular ball. The English coming off the bat of Joey Votto was slicing away from him. The wind was pushing it further away. Couldn't find the flap on the sunglasses to get them down quickly enough to battle that sun. And then, as you said, the ball hit right up against the sidewall. No chance for a play.
Having to deal with Joey Votto in this series, and Albert Pujols coming up against the Cardinals. Slicing and a catch by Soriano. Nicely done. Good defense in this inning. Ramirez and Soriano, and the inning's over. Don't miss the action as the Cubs host the Cardinals this Thursday here at Wrigley Field. Game time 1:20, but be sure to get here early. The first 10,000 adults 21 and older get a Cubs golf set, compliments of Budweiser. For more info and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Sent Ma to the spa. 1-1 to Giovanni Soto. 8-9-1 for the Cubs. Johnny Cueto making his 2011 debut today. It's been a big week for the Reds as they get 2 starters back from the DL, and the Cubs hope it won't be too far down the road when they'll welcome back 40% of their rotation, with Cashner and Wells rehabbing. The first big injury in this division was the Adam Wainwright Tommy John surgery, and that kind of sent the wheels in motion. And the Reds suffered some injuries. Houston battling injury problems near the end of spring training, and then the Cubs got nailed on the same day when Cashner and Wells were hurt. And Torria throws out Soto.
I'll tell you somebody who is healthy and ready to play, Len. Dorothy Farrell celebrating a birthday today on Mother's Day. She is a fixture here at Wrigley Field. Has had those seats right behind the visitors' dugouts ever since I can remember. I know she used to rag on me when I played for the Giants. Every player in the National League knows Dorothy. Happy birthday. Hope you're having a great day.
One 1-0 to Ryan Dempster. And a base hit. Boy, good contact there. First hit of the season. He's 1 for 12.
Dempster got a pitch right in the middle of his swing that time. Down and out over the plate. He squares it up about as good as you possibly can. Hey, Cub fans, support Ron Santo's fight for a cure. Join us at Wrigley Field for a special night when the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation honors the Ricketts family on Thursday, May 19th. The special dinner includes a ballpark tour, a chance to play catch and hit in the batting cages. All proceeds benefit JDRF. For information, go to jdrfillinois.org.
Here's Kosuke with Dempster at first, 1 out. We mentioned the no-hit bid still underway in Florida. 6-0 Marlins as they've just gone to the top of the 7th. Thanks to my good friend Tommy Hutton, longtime Marlins broadcaster. He said it's not perfect. No walks, a hit batter, and an error. The only problem is Anibal Sanchez has thrown 97 pitches because of a career-high 10 strikeouts through 6. So Edwin Rodriguez may face an interesting decision here over the next couple of innings, even if the no-hitter is intact. And wasn't it Edwin Jackson who threw like 149 pitches last year in his no-no? Well, that's a scary proposition.
Oh, it really is a tough decision for any manager. And obviously your first priority is to win the ball game, but you're not unaware of what's going on with your pitcher out there on the mound, and the opportunity to throw a no-hitter comes along so rarely. Really a tough call.
And for Anibal Sanchez, if he does it today, he would be the second guy in as many days to pick up his 2nd career no-hitter. So we'll keep an eye on that one and keep you posted. 2-2 to Kosuke. Kind of an awkward looking swing. He didn't hit it hard, and they will not get it out as Renteria airmails it into right. Dempster will head to third. Second, possibly huge error by Renteria in this series. Failed to turn a double play as he dropped a ball on Friday.
Well, and I think it was the right decision to get the lead man at second base, because it was Ryan Dempster running from first to second, and the Reds still did have time to get that lead out. was so close to Brandon Phillips when he let that throw go that Phillips couldn't react when it was wide. It rolled all the way out to Jay Bruce in right field.
Instead of a runner at first, 2 outs, it's first and third, 1 out. And it's Starlin Castro. And a chopper charged by Cairo, throw to the plate, and Dempster is out.
That's a tough call for a base runner, especially tough call for a pitcher running at third base. Slowly hit ball to the third baseman. And Dempster's dead meat at home plate. On a harder hit ball, you would assume the Reds would try to turn the double play up the middle of the field, and it's probably safe to try to score. But on a slower hit ball like that one, Cairo made the right play going home to cut off the run.
Swing and a miss by Marlon Byrd. The error has been charged to Brandon Phillips. Not on Renteria. In the dirt, 1-1.
The 15th error of the season as a team for the Cincinnati Reds. Brandon Phillips, one of the more sure-handed second basemen to ever play this game. In the estimation of the official scorekeeper, a throw that he should have made a play on at second base, so the error goes to Phillips. That's his first of the season.
Tag play to get Dempster. Ground ball deflected by Cueto. Everybody safe. The infield hit. Marlon Byrd with a 10-gamer now.
Now, some pitchers are in very good fielding position when they let the ball go. Johnny Cueto is not one of them. Had his back turned to home plate as that little roller was hit back over the mound. Just kind of stuck his leg and glove out behind his back to try to knock the ball down, which he was able to do, but none of his infielders could make the play.
So the bases are loaded with 2 outs. Here's Ramirez. He walked his first time up. 1-0 Cincinnati, but the Cubs have 3 on. And it's inside. Lance Nix with a line drive base hit to right. Diving attempt by Mike Stanton in and out of his glove. And now the Nationals with 2 hits in the 7th inning. So the Anibal Sanchez no-hitter is over. He might be coming out of the game soon because of his pitch count. This is a spot every hitter loves to be in. Bases loaded, a 2-0 count. And a strike, it's 2-1. And this is why this inning has been extended to this point. Fly ball to left. Johnny Gomes will make the catch. I still give that error to Edgar Renteria, but at any rate, they strand him loaded.
Sarah, you guys have been great. I wouldn't be here without you guys, and thanks so much for being such wonderful moms.
Nice wish from Sean Marshall to his mom and his wife, Sarah. Cubs left them loaded. In the third inning, they trail 1-0 as Ryan Dempster will face Phillips, Bruce, and Gomes in the fourth. Swing and a miss. Sean Marshall's in a pretty good spot today because Shaka Smart, the head basketball coach at his alma mater, VCU, Virginia Commonwealth, will handle the stretch. Oh, 2. One of the youngest coaches in college basketball. Took them all the way to the Final Four. 1-2. Bob, we certainly are tough on the umpires when deserved, and we try to give them the benefit of the doubt when they're right. And Pat Hughes and I, walking out of the ballpark Friday, ran into one of our favorites, Larry Young, longtime Major League umpire. He is now a supervisor and comes to Wrigley Field quite a bit. And we asked him about that bizarre non-interference call on Clayton Kershaw last week. Pretty important play on a swing and a miss, strike 3. The ball bounced up after Giovanni Soto didn't catch it. There's a tapper to Dempster, and the ball inadvertently hit Kershaw's bat. We were trying to figure out if the call was right, that Jerry Meal said it was a live ball according to the rule book, and the rule we looked at, it appeared as though the call was wrong. Well, Larry looked at the play, and you've talked about the extra book. The umpires have a much bigger rule book that covers a lot more than the rule book we have. And the bottom line is Jerry Meals got it right. Jay Bruce is 2 for 2.
Yeah, you know, Len, I'm sure a lot of fans have seen the copy of the rule book that you can buy at bookstores. That's something they used to have. It's a very small little thing. It's very succinct, very to the point about all the rules of the game and what could happen, what should happen. But the umpires and managers, for that matter, receive the addendum to the rule book, which is like the Manhattan phone book. It goes into tremendous detail, provides all the possible options on every play that is covered in the abbreviated rule book. And I think that's where they finally found the answer to the question.
So thanks to Larry, he copied the section that seems to cover what happened. And I'll quote, play first base unoccupied or 2 out, strike 3 not caught, batter runner unintentionally kicks, touches, or otherwise deflects the pitched ball that was not caught by the catcher. Catcher's unable to make a play. If this occurs in the vicinity of home plate, the ball is alive and in play. That's the answer. Bruce running, and Gomes, it's a dribbler foul up the first base line. And honestly, the way it's described in this addendum is much clearer than in the actual rule book.
If you want to really give yourself a headache and have smoke coming out of your ears, get a copy of the rule book and look at the section concerning batters hitting out of order. It will boggle your mind.
That is a foul ball because Gomes hit it off himself before it became fair.
What would you do with an extra $1,000 a week every week for the rest of your life? Play Cash for Life instant games from the Illinois Lottery. You keep living, we keep giving. $1,000 a week for life. The longer you live, the more you get.
Now, somewhere in the book that you are leafing through, I believe, there's also a rule that covers every rule that's not covered. As Johnny Gomes swings and misses, and that's the second strikeout for Ryan Dempster. In other words, if you see something that's never occurred before, which is altogether possible, there is some sort of common sense rule that gives the umpire the discretion to kind of piece together what should happen. We go over all kinds of bizarre things that could happen in a game. I think one of the more bizarre occurrences could be Game 7 of the World Series, tie game, bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, 1 out, and a foul pop up, and the third baseman goes over, makes the catch, falls into his own dugout, and the guy at third is given home, and the game ends and the World Series is over. That could happen. If you fall out of play, guy gets a base. How about a no-hitter ends when a guy hits a ground ball to the first baseman and it hits the runner before the first baseman can field it? Third out recorded. The batter gets a hit. Game over. Wow. 1-1 to Ramon Hernandez. He knocked in Jay Bruce 2 innings ago.
Well, if you happen to have a copy of the 2011 edition of the official baseball rules, the one that you can get at bookstores or online, on page 53 is what I was talking about, batting out of turn. And they name the 9 hitters in the order: Abel, Baker, Charles, Daniel, Edward, Frank, George, Hooker, and Irwin. And it goes on to describe every possible scenario for when the batter bats out of order, who's out, what happens on the play, what the ruling is. It's like I said, it'll make smoke come out of your ears.
These guys are paid to know that thing inside and out without having to refer to it. What I wish they would do is put a microphone on the crew chief every game and either have communication with a press box or, like the NFL, be able to communicate over the public address system. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and announce on a controversial play what the actual ruling was. Maybe one day that'll happen. 1-0 Cincinnati.
The 2011 Chicago Cubs on WGN are brought to you by Bud Light Lime. Just the right taste of Bud Light with a refreshing splash of 100% natural lime flavor. Wind
blowing in, sunny, cool. Game 3 of 18 between the Cubs and Reds. Called strike to Jeff Baker. I want to wish Todd Wellemeyer the best as he moves on to his future, as he just retired. He made a start at Iowa. Remember, coming back from the hip injury. Todd deciding to hang it up. Good guy, and I'm sure he'll do well in his non-baseball life, but well, it's not easy making that transition for a lot of guys. Todd's not an old man. He is 32.
I'll always remember Todd Wellemeyer. Obviously a very long name, a lot of letters, covers a lot of the back of his jersey, but he could do it with his shoulders. He had the widest shoulders I think I've ever seen on a major league pitcher.
World Series ring from his time with the Giants last year. Wouldn't say the word regret comes to mind, but if he didn't have the hip injury, he might have been pitching in this rotation with the injuries to Randy Wells and Andrew Kashner. Just got behind the 8 ball in spring training and eventually decided to hang it up.
Had a pitcher in the minor leagues with the San Francisco Giants that was built very similar to Todd Wellemeyer. Enormous wide shoulders, and had a manager called Rocky Bridges, named Rocky Bridges, who nicknamed the guy Shampoo. And didn't really tell us why for the longest time. And finally we asked Rocky, why do you call him Shampoo? As Soriano grounds one to short. Renteria with a bobble, but still has time. Said, I call him Shampoo because he's all head and shoulders.
Could have called him Prel or Suave.
A bit more specific, yeah.
Here's Pena. He's a little confused. He's got the Cub cap and the Expos jersey on, although that's Hawk Dawson's.
Andre Dawson's number 10 Expos jersey.
Yeah.
It's like the guy in L.A. the other day that had the Yankee jersey on. The fans were giving him a hard time when he caught a foul ball, but he was wearing a number 23 Don Mattingly Yankees jersey. Of course, Don Mattingly, the skipper of the Dodgers.
Two 2-0 the count on Carlos Pena. How many times have we said that in the first month? Cubs have had some patient guys. They've been known as a very aggressive offense the last several years. But that 0-8 team led the league in walks.
Look at this.
Foul.
That would have been a thing of beauty. Beat the shift with a little blooper down that third baseline.
But in terms of a guy who's not in a hurry to swing the bat, I think he's the most patient Cub since we've been here. I mean, he's 2-0-3-1 2 or 3 times a day. And the key is, and he's starting to heat up, is that when he gets those pitches, he does damage with them, and that has been a problem earlier in the season.
Yeah, he did get his pitch on a number of occasions and either fouled him straight back or got under him a little bit, popped the ball in the air. But starting to make better, solid contact on a regular basis now.
First 3-hit game as a Cub yesterday. Fly ball down the right field line, and this one's going to drift to the seats, out of play.
Well, in order to be a patient hitter like Carlos Pena is, you have to have confidence in your own ability to battle with 2 strikes. I think the reason a lot of hitters are so aggressive early in the count is because they don't want to get to that 2-strike pitch where the pitcher is going to try to lead him out of the zone with a breaking pitch, or maybe try to bust him in on the hands with a fastball. So in order to avoid that 2-strike pitch, you swing at the first 2 pitches and make something happen right away.
3-2. Those blue and red hats a lot in the ballpark, and the pink one today on Mother's Day. Line, Votto just deflected it on a ball that might have knuckled a little bit. And it's a base hit.
This is one case where Joey Votto was glad he wasn't holding a runner on first base. He's playing back at the edge of the infield dirt and still has a hard time reacting to that smash off the bat of Carlos Pena.
Soto turns on one, but too much. Speaking of retired major leaguers, I got a nice note the other day from former Cub left-hander Scott Air. You know, I need to ask him if he has been taking his RV around the country like he talked about doing. Balk. Guess who called it?
Balk and Bob.
Bob Davidson. It's Johnny Cueto. It looked like he moved that front leg first. Can't do that if you're going to throw to first. Right to left. Johnny Gomes into the corner on the dirt. He has it. We've completed 4. Reds 1, Cubs nothing.
Pack at Wrigley Field. 4 tickets, 4 drinks, 4 hot dogs starting at just $80 for the series with the Mets, Pirates, and Astros. For more details and to purchase your Best Buy pack, visit Cubs.com/Best Buy pack.
Well, look at what was just delivered. Vienna beef hot dogs from here at Wrigley Field.
We got a couple of Chicago dogs, a taco dog, which looks like
which 4 are you going to eat?
I don't know.
Two bouncer Cairo's out.
Maybe one bite of each. We've got a deli dog with Thousand Island dressing and sauerkraut. We've got the Frito pie, which comes with chili and cheese and Fritos. And the heater. I think the heater is all yours.
It looks hot.
Yeah, it's got some buffalo hot sauce on it or something. But man, do those look good.
The Len and Bob Eat Themselves to Death tour continues. But I am looking forward to this one. Johnny Cueto shows bunt, takes a strike.
I gotta tell you, Len, when I was a player, I would start the season right around 210, 215, and usually finish up around 195 catching. Lost a lot of weight during the season. I think this year I'm going to go in the opposite direction very quickly.
Well, you're going to make up for it. Cueto bounces out to Baker. Here you go. Dive in before we go to break here.
I have a feeling this is going to be messy.
Yeah,
I might have to wait until the break.
Try not to get any mustard on the microphone.
Boy, they're just so pretty. I hate to eat them. Beautiful.
So we have what?
We've
Chicago dog?
Yep.
Okay.
It's the typical boring Chicago dog, huh?
Mustard, peppers, tomatoes,
neon green relish,
pickles,
celery salt.
There is a hot dog in there too.
Somewhere.
Swing and a miss. It's 1-2.
These ought to come with Tums on them though too, you know. Too good. Oh my.
In the dirt. The loaded dogs. They're definitely loaded. Fouled back. Come on, Ryan. Strike him out.
Yeah,
We're hungry.
really. Come on, Drew. Making out quick.
Only run of this game came back in the second inning. Ramon Hernandez with an RBI single. Thanks to the Cubs and Levy Restaurants, supplying us with lunch today, as Drew Stubbs just snuck one over the basket. And unfortunately, the usher had his back to the field and just got hit. Ouch. It's 2-0 Cincinnati. That was a line shot home run.
That's the kind of ball that has the best chance of getting out of here on a day like this. Wind blowing straight in off the lake. Sinker down and in. Stubbs golfs a line drive in the shortest part of the ballpark out there in left center field, and just does get it up into the front row.
Slider was up but called a strike. Edgar Renteria. Runs have been a problem for Ryan Dempster this season. He's now allowed 10.
I'd have to call up an usher from AAA.
Yeah. Hope he's all right. So walk it off.
He's going to issue an arrest warrant for Drew Stubbs for assault.
I think he's arresting that guy for wearing a Montreal Expos jersey with a Cubs cap. He's saying that's not right. I know it's Andre Dawson.
Yeah.
You got to get a Cubs jersey, okay?
He's probably going to arrest him for not having his shoes on, which is grounds for arrest as far as I'm concerned. Lock him up.
Swing and a miss as we enjoy the Chicago Dog. 2-0 Reds.
$5 footlongs from Subway. Just be the 500th texter to text Subway to 97999. Go to WGNTV.com for complete information and rules.
I give the Chicago Dog, the loaded hot dog, a thumbs up.
Kind of partial to that Frito dog myself. A little chili, a little cheese, some Fritos on top for added crunch.
Dempster with a ground ball to Renteria. Got a nice candy hop at the end, and he's out. And let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Two 2-0 Reds. Johnny Cueto has not allowed a run in his season debut, coming off the DL. Biceps and triceps irritation. Had him start the season on the shelf, missed just over a month. Kosuke looks at a strike. The Cubs announced a couple days ago that the organization will honor our good friend Pete Vonachen for his more than 20 years of commitment to baseball with a pregame ceremony this coming Wednesday against St. Louis. Renteria again, and he'll get Fukudome. A lot of former Peoria Chiefs will be on both rosters. The Cubs and Cardinals. Barney, Samardzija, Coleman, Russell, Mateo, Berg, Pujols, McClellan, Molina, Mott. All had gone through Peoria at one time or another. Pete bought the Peoria Suns in 1983. Changed the name to the Chiefs and brought the Cubs affiliation in 1985. Set all kinds of Midwest League attendance records. Rick Maddox, Joe Girardi, Mark Grace, Rafael Palmeiro came through Peoria. Ballpark renamed Pete Vonachen Stadium in 1992. And actually, Pete sold the team and then led a new investor group in 1994. His son Rocky now runs the club, and we're excited to have The Vonachens here this Wednesday, and Pete will conduct the 7th inning stretch.
Very nice. Yep. Very nice. I've said it many, many times for those of you who live downstate here in Illinois or even here in the Chicagoland area. If you get an opportunity to go check out a Peoria Chiefs game, you will not regret it. One of the more enjoyable evenings you'll ever have.
They were the Cardinals affiliate from '95 to 2004, and Pete was one of Harry Carey's best friends. What a eulogy he gave at Harry's funeral. 1-2-3 go the Cubs for the first time. 2-0 Reds.
We want to recognize your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers for their support of local youth baseball leagues. Through the Chevy Youth Baseball Program, the local Chevrolet dealers are supporting over 35,000 young ball players in their communities. From the big leagues to the youth leagues, Chevy is truly the official vehicle of baseball.
Former Cub right-hander, and he still is right-handed, Scott Sanderson, signing autographs at the ballpark. Two 2-0 Cincinnati as Joey Votto hits a first pitch foul past first. Dempster's 0-1 is outside. How about this one? Detroit Tiger AAA left-hander Andy Oliver had to have his start this weekend pushed back because he had played with a slingshot, which apparently made his hand sore. So they had to push him back. I think that's Toledo, the Mud Hens, a AAA affiliate. Phil Nevin is the manager, former Cub.
Slingshot, huh? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Three and two.
Well, if there's any manager in minor league baseball that would understand a bizarre injury like that, it's probably Phil Nevin.
Probably.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that before.
Handed by Baker. He'll have time to get Votto. Reigning MVP 0 for 3 today.
And a Cubs will be glad to get Joey Votto out of town before he heats up, because you know he will. He just has not looked real comfortable at the plate in this series.
Dodgers have lost 4 in a row, but they lead the Mets 4-1 in the ninth. Andre Ethier with 2 hits after his 30-game hitting streak came to an end. One of them a 2-run homer. Home run swing by Phillips, and he missed it. 1-1. Florida still leading Washington at 7-0 in the bottom of the 8th. Anibal Sanchez went 7, gave up 2 hits, struck out 11. Back to Dempster. St. Louis 2, Milwaukee nothing there in the bottom of the 6th at Busch Stadium. No home runs in that game. Matt Holliday 2 for 3s, back in the 400s. I think he had been hitting 400 for like 3 weeks. Lance Berkman at 381. Cardinals come in Tuesday. We'll have game 1 at 7 o'clock Central here on WGN. Albert Pujols, Bob's hitting 242.
Probably ought to send him back to AAA to work on his swing a little bit. Yeah, that's the thing. A guy with obviously a track record like Albert Pujols, you're a little numbers in that neighborhood a month into the season, but the thing you can count on is by the end of the year he'll be right back up there where you expect him to be. Unless there's something physically wrong with him, and to the best of my knowledge, he's healthy.
Well, I don't think he's going to get a lot of money on the free agent market after a season like he's having.
Oh, yeah. I'd like to be his agent's great grandchildren.
1-1 to Jay Bruce. Fly to left, and it's Soriano to make the catch on the run. He's been busy today. They go down in order, bottom 6, 2-0 Cincy. For the Cubs' upcoming schedule, brought to you by Lincoln. It's not just luxury, it's smarter than that. Feel smarter at Lincoln.com. Again, Cardinals and Cubs, one of the great rivalries in sports. First series of the season between these two teams. And we'll have game one on WGN Tuesday night. Chris Carpenter and Carlos Zambrano. How about Chris Carpenter doesn't have a win, and the Cardinals are 1-6 in his first 7 starts. The thing about St. Louis, it's interesting. Pujols and Carpenter struggling, but we mentioned Berkman and Rasmus and Holiday off to excellent starts. The Cardinals have 3 pitchers with at least 4 wins. Kyle Loesch, Kyle McClellan, and Jaime Garcia, and Chris Carpenter has none. But they found some other guys to pick up the slack. The other one is their closer lost his job in mid-April, Ryan Franklin. The rest of the pen's doing a pretty good job.
Interesting to see the kind of reception Ryan Theriot gets coming to town for the first time wearing the Redbirds uniform after some of the comments he made in the offseason about finally being on the right side of the rivalry. I imagine Cubs fans will have something to say to him.
Very popular guy when he got traded.
And then one more Mother's Day hello before I have to stay at a hotel tonight. I'd like to wish a happy Mother's Day to my mother-in-law, Janet Muskimmons, watching back in Coshocton, Ohio today. Hope you're having a great day.
Full count, 3-2. Popped into left. Gomes plays deep out there, but he has time to come in and make the play. Just following up on the Cardinals, they have 5 guys with at least 1 save.
Kind of sounds like a closer by committee.
Yeah. Final from Toronto. Detroit won again 5-2. No this time. Brad Penny beat JoJo Reyes. Jose Valverde got his 7th save. Tigers within a game of 500. Out into right, Jay Bruce. Waist-high catch. Looked good off the bat, but it just stayed up a little bit too long for Ramirez.
They actually hit it too good. Pitch on the outer third of the plate, got down and threw a tremendous backspin on that drive. Made it carry all the way out to Jay Bruce, who makes a nice running catch about waist-high, coming straight in.
To this point, Bob, you'd have to say, if you're Dusty Baker and Brian Price, the pitching coach, you'd have to give Johnny Cueto an A+. This is his first start. You mentioned some pedestrian numbers in his rehab outings.
I think they're ecstatic with the effort they've gotten from the right-hander so far today. We'll see how long they ride him in this ball game. He got up to 99 pitches in his rehab outings.
Remember, we haven't seen the fireballing Aroldis Chapman yet in this series. 2-0. Let's take a look at today's Mother's Day Bud Fan Cam. Winstons with Happy Mother's Day. You think we could find a more appropriate song for today, but whatever. That's our Bud Fan Cam. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds.
I know we had some suggestions for Mother's Day, but they were shot down rather quickly.
Johnny Gomes with a rainbow to right. This is Kosuke Fukudome. The out recorded.
The second ball, Gomes is hit to the right side today. If you've got Johnny Gomes hitting the ball to the right side of the field, you're making some good pitches on him, because as I mentioned before, he wants to pull the ball in the air to left field whenever possible.
Dempster pitching well today, trailing though 2-0. He has lost his last 5 decisions at Wrigley Field, covering 6 starts dating back to August of last year. Makes this easy play and gets Hernandez.
Chamberlain College of Nursing is proud to bring you Nurses Night at the ballpark on Tuesday. Don't miss the action as the Cubs battle the Cardinals at 7:05. Be sure to arrive early. The first 5,000 fans will receive a Cubs t-shirt, compliments of Chamberlain College of Nursing. As part of National Nurses Week, make sure to thank a special nurse in your life.
ECU head basketball coach Shaka Smart, huge Cub fan, and he's getting set for the 7th inning stretch. Miguel Cairo takes ball 1 low. Astros leading the Pirates in Pittsburgh 4-2. In the bottom of the 8th. This should do it as Kosuke battling the sun here as we get into the late afternoon hours. Stretch time.
Today's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, VCU men's head basketball coach Shaka Smart.
All right, Cubs fans, let me hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back, so it's root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame, for it's out at the old ball game. Let's go get some runs.
Underway in the bottom of the 7th. It's 2-0 Cincinnati. Great to have with us Shaka Smart, the head basketball coach at Virginia Commonwealth. What a run in the NCAA tournament as Alfonso Soriano hits it foul. Coach, welcome to Wrigley, and congratulations on a great season.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me. It's a joy to be here today.
It's not uncomfortable for you to wear that jersey, is it?
Not at all. I grew up watching the Cubs. I grew up sitting right over there on the first base side in the second deck, and love this place.
You come to games with your grandfather, correct?
I did. My grandfather, Walter King, who lived almost all his life here in Chicago, he had season tickets and had a lot of fun coming to games with him.
Soriano with a base hit, and a tying run will come up. Johnny Cueto's still in there. As we start the bottom of the 7th, let's take a look at our Xfinity HD shot of the game. Ceremonial first pitch today to Sean Marshall, and a strike.
Yes, indeed.
They told me not to throw it in the dirt, so I tried to follow directions.
Cubs baseball brought to you by Xfinity only from Comcast. And Dusty Baker will go to the bullpen. Left-hander Bill Bray will replace Cueto, who had a very successful season debut. Tying run at the plate. Will be back in the 7th. Follow the Cubs with the MLB.com at Bat 11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit Cubs.com for details. Left-hander Bill Bray facing left-handed hitting Carlos Pena. He's 1 for 2. Soriano at first, nobody out. And here we go, ball 1. Outside. We're with VCU head basketball coach Shaka Smart. And our condolences. You mentioned your grandfather unfortunately passed away during the tournament run. I'm sure that was a very bittersweet time for you. And also, I understand your wife expecting your first child later this year.
We are. We're really excited about that, and counting down the days till September.
What do you do for an encore, Coach?
I was going to say.
After the year you guys had last year, just unbelievable. What do you do for an encore?
Well, you know, basketball coaches are always trying to get better and trying to, you know, improve your guys. We got 4 seniors that play on the team this year. They're all slated to graduate in actually 2 weeks. So we're excited about that. And then, of course, you got your young guys. You always want to get them better.
I don't know how you sleep now, but once you welcome that little one into the world, forget about sleeping.
Well, my brother's here with me today, and he's got a little one, a little girl that's 3 years old, so I'm learning the ropes from him.
Well, it's a lot easier, Uncle Shaka, you know, when you can play with them and have a good time and then go home at the end of the day.
Well, we found out the other day we're having a girl, so I'm not sure if I'll be as good at the discipline part of it as if it was a boy.
2-2 on Carlos Pena. Who was your favorite player when you'd come here to Wrigley?
I have so many favorites. Probably the Hawk, Andre Dawson, Ryan Sandberg. Mark Grace was always a favorite. He seemed like he was here forever and just always had a smile on his face. So loved all those guys.
Foul tip, strike 3. And Pena is out. Now, Bob, did you ask Coach Smart your question about 6 degrees of separation here?
Yeah, indeed I did. You know, growing up in Central Ohio, there's Kenyon College where you went to school, Coach. A guy from my hometown is second on the all-time scoring list, and I saw a number of Kenyon College games when I was growing up and going over there. And man, I'll tell you, it was a big part of my basketball upbringing, watching Kenyon College basketball.
Well, you saw some of the best players ever there, and that was a great time. But yeah, a lot of fun there. It was a great place to go to school, and a lot of fun playing basketball there.
Sam LeCure is in, and we'll be right back. It was big out of the Reds bullpen on Friday. Comes in with 1 out here in the 7th. Soriano, the runner at first, and Giovanni Soto ready to dig in. Ryan Dempster on deck, but at this point you'd say a pretty good chance he's not going to take the at bat with his team down 2-0. Strike on the outside corner. Here with Virginia Commonwealth coach Shaka Smart. How did you keep your guys focused throughout a tournament run that a lot of people thought was improbable considering all the teams you beat?
There was just so many games to prepare for. Actually, it was pretty easy staying focused. We went down to Dayton and we played in what was called the first 4, which is almost like a play-in game to get into the field of 64 from 68. And then when we won in Dayton, we immediately came here to Chicago. We arrived at about 3 in the morning on a Wednesday night, and we had to play Friday evening. So it was a fast and furious schedule of games, and that allowed us to stay focused. But our guys were terrific. They had a great mindset and never stopped believing that we were going to win.
Comes the 0-1, and Soto hits a high fly. And is going to be caught by Drew Stubbs. Soriano back to first. Coach, thanks so much for the time, and best of luck this season, obviously with your family as well on a personal level, and we hope to see you back at Wrigley Field many times.
Well, I'll definitely be back. Thanks for having me, guys.
You got it. Shaka Smart, the head basketball coach at VCU, and Sean Marshall catching that first pitch was following their run all the way to the Final Four.
Yeah, Sean turned us all into VCU fans this past March Madness.
I got to tell you, partner, and I've said it many times before, most college basketball coaches are just a little bit off. You got to be pretty intense. It's a grind. We've had some pretty normal people up here in the booth here lately. Brad Stevens and Shaka Smart. Now, we haven't been to their practices. But
that might be a different story, but yeah, that's when they're in their element.
That's right. Well, Aroldis Chapman can flip it up there at over 100 miles an hour. He's getting loose in the Reds bullpen. I think there's about a 99% chance he's going to pitch today.
He hasn't pitched in 3 days, and you got to believe either for Fukudome this time through the order, or possibly Carlos Pena the next time through the order, or possibly a pinch hitter. If we see Tyler Colvin or Blake DeWitt somewhere along the line, we're probably going to see the fireballing left-hander today.
Quality start for Ryan Dempster. 2 runs in 7 innings. That's 2 in a row. The Cubs ace. Here's Reed Johnson batting for Dempster, and he just got hit by a pitch. What is it about Reed Johnson?
He's the designated dartboard on this ball club. I mean, obviously, he has absolutely no fear whatsoever. He crowds that plate. He hangs his hands out over the strike zone a little bit. The human pincushion. Take one for the team. Moving a runner into scoring position here for the top of the order.
Now it's Fukudome, who's 1 out of 3. LeCure hit Reed Johnson in the 6th inning on Friday. That loaded the bases, and then LeCure would get out of it. Bases were loaded with nobody out. The Cubs could not get that big run to tie the game. Three and 0 with Castro on deck. Outside corner.
I don't know. Well, I haven't completed my research yet on this particular topic, but 3-0 pitches out of the strike zone, man, and that's way out of the strike zone. Tend to get called strikes just to continue the at-bat, keep the game moving, get the hitters to swing the bats. Same way 0-2 pitches that are in the strike zone many times are called balls.
That is ball 4. It's a second walk taken by the Cubs today.
LeCure consistently missing low and away from the left-handed hitters and way inside on the righties when he plunked Reed Johnson. You can see every pitch in that sequence well off the plate away.
Another bases loaded chance coming with 2 outs. The Cubs had one back in the 3rd. And the Cub fans are on their feet. Starlin Castro takes a fastball in. 0 for 3.
Cubs as a team in this situation, bases loaded, 2 outs, a 167 batting average. However, Starlin Castro 1 for 3 on the year with the bases loaded.
1-1. He's just 7 for his last 50. The rest of the league has tried to make him chase some bad ones. They know you throw him strikes, he'll make you pay. Ground ball picked up by Cairo, and the easy play is to step on third, and the Cubs leave him loaded for the second time today. 2-0 Reds after 7. Time now for our Honda game summary. Reds 2, Cubs nothing. Johnny Cueto 6+ shutout innings in his season debut. Ryan Dempster was efficient in his 7 innings, but got taken out because his team was trailing. Visit your local Honda dealer today to test drive the 2011 Honda Cross Tour, available with 4-wheel drive. Here's Jeff Samardzija. But the only number you don't love is the walks to strikeouts. It's about 1-1, but he has been in a great stretch. 13 consecutive scoreless innings. And 8 straight scoreless appearances as he faces pinch hitter Fred Lewis. Lewis came off the bench on Saturday and knocked in the game-tying run on a fielder's choice. Recently came off the disabled list. He had a strained right oblique, and he hits a towering fly ball out into right center, and it's Marlon Byrd to make the catch for the out.
Time to take a look at our BMW ultimate drive of the ball game. Came back in the 5th inning. A sinker down in the zone, a line drive home run to the shortest part of the ballpark out there in left center field for Drew Stubbs. Brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana BMW dealers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Here is Stubbs, who had a 3-homer game at Wrigley Field last year. It was on July 4th. Some huge home runs against the Cubs last season. Game-winning grand slam in April in Cincy. Mentioned the 3 homers and a 14-3 Cincinnati win on July 4th, and then in early August here, a game-winning homer in the 8th to beat the Cubs.
Now Stubbs, a guy that's a little bit like Starlin Castro in that there was some speculation as to where he should hit in the order. He obviously has great power. We've seen plenty of that. Chases a pitch in the dirt. He's going to insist he fouled it off, but Bob Davidson not buying it.
Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Great shot of the back of the Mike Quade poster out on Clark and Addison. Strike on Edgar Renteria. I think the biggest difference between Drew Stubbs and Starlin Castro is that Stubbs steals bases, a lot of bases. Castro, pretty decent wheels. Not quite like Drew Stubbs. As Renteria hits a fly to left, and Jeff Samardzija with a quick 1-2-3-8. Nicely done. Getting late. Cubs trail by 2.
Thanks for all the lessons and all the advice you've given to me my whole life, and being there for me, and taking me to all my little league games and all my high school games, and coming to watch me play in the big leagues. So hope you have a good day, and happy Mother's Day.
Very thoughtful thoughts from John Grabo, Cubs left-hander, here on Mother's Day. 2-0. Nick Massett will work here in the 8th. We may not see Aroldis Chapman at this point. Strike. Marlon Byrd.
Bloop and a blast here. Somebody get on, and then somebody hit a line drive out of here through that wind.
Byrd with a 10-game hitting streak. 1 for 3. Slider in there. Pirates at 500. They beat the Astros 5-4 in Pittsburgh today. Daniel McCutchen over Fernando Abad. Joel Hanrahan got his 10th save. Foul tip, strike 3. Meet the Team, Have a Ball, presented by Bank of America, is Wednesday, May 25th at 2:30. Collect autographs on an authentic MLB baseball from the 2011 Cubs players and coaches in attendance. Limited tickets are available for $300 each. Proceeds benefit Chicago Cubs charities, and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com or call 773-404-CUBS. (1-0) on Ramirez, who has walked fly to left and line to right. Smacks a ground ball foul. Nice pick by Andy Lane, protecting his bullpen mate, Edgar Tovar, who is catching the closer, Carlos Marmol. Cairo can't get it, neither can Renteria, and it's a base hit.
Ramirez scalded the ball to right field. His last at bat, Jay Bruce made a nice running catch to rob him of a base hit. This time a hard topspin grounder past a diving Cairo. Renteria can't get there. Now the blast.
Want to give a shout out to Brooks Allen, watching the ball game today with his brand new son, born Thursday. Happy Mother's Day to Betty Plouffe, watching in Montana on WGN America. Happy Mom Day to Tony Miller of Mokina from daughter Sarah. They're both watching. Fastball low. 2-0 on Jeff Baker. 31,931 the paid crowd today. Cubs got to Francisco Cordero in the ninth inning yesterday. The Reds had a sub-3 relief ERA in April, but at 5.79 to start May. Final in Florida, Marlins 8, Nationals nothing. The Dodgers finished off the Mets. Clayton Kershaw got the win. Vicente Padilla the save. 4-2 Dodgers. 3-2 the count. Tampa Bay keeps on rolling after that rough start. They're now 20-14, 5-3 the final in Baltimore. Wade Davis got the win. Former Cub Kyle Farnsworth with his 17th save. That's 4 in a row now for Tampa Bay. And they're 11-4 on the road. Deep drive for Baker. Drew Stubbs makes the grab for the out.
How about the Cubs minor leagues, Len? Every team won last night, including the Daytona Cubs, who have put together their third 6-game winning streak of the season already. They're 22-8. I believe that's the best record in all of professional baseball so far in the early going this season.
Really good pitching performances around the Cubs system. Robinson Lopez, 6 innings, 1 run, got the win for Peoria. Rob Whitenack dominated the Florida State League. He's gone up to AA Tennessee. We have another balk.
Hawk and Bob struck again. Oh, I said double stop. Yeah, we've seen a lot of that from relief pitchers this year, where they almost come to a complete stop and then come to a second stop, and that time Davidson called him on it. I think those pink shoes are good for a line drive homer. Right,
I think you're right. Ryan Price chatting with Massett. We will be recording a brand new podcast after the game, and it'll be available at WGNTV.com first thing tomorrow. former Cub minor league outfielder Brandon Guyer, involved in the Matt Garza trade, got called up by Tampa Bay, hit a home run in his first plate appearance, and today got sent back to the minors. They brought up a pitcher. Nice going, kid. Beat it. Happens a lot.
Yeah, it does, depending on your roster situation, or you have an extra inning game where you have to go through a lot of relief pitchers or extend one relief pitcher deep into a ball game, and sometimes you just got to make that change.
Joe Madden quoted in the AP story saying he's going to be back here. I liked him the moment I met him in spring training. Sounds like Guyer will get another chance this year. 0-2, swing and a miss, and that'll do it. We'll head off to the ninth. 2-zip Reds.
Hi, this is Stalin Castro. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Love you.
Happy Mother's Day to my beautiful wife and my beautiful mom. Thanks for being so great.
More Mother's Day wishes from the Cubs players as Carlos Marmol gets Joey Votto to swing and miss. We've seen Votto do that more in this series than I think in any other series between these two teams. Fouled off 0-2. Cubs closer is in with his team trailing by 2. Off day tomorrow, so definitely wanted to get him some work before the weekend is done. One and two. Well, the Cubs got to Cordero for 2 in the ninth to win it yesterday. See what happens today as Votto's just in between right now and strikes out.
I'm not sure what the opposite of hitterish is, but that's what Joey Votto is right now. You can just tell by his body language, his approach, some of the swings we've seen him take in this series. He's just a little confused up there at the plate right now. And like I said earlier, just let him get out of town because you know he's going to heat up.
I can think of a word that rhymes with that might fit, but we'll leave it be. Yeah. Here's Brandon Phillips. Ball one. Red Sox over the Twins 9-5. Adrian Gonzalez with a home run in that one. Picked up by Castro on the flip to Pena for the out. Pena, Soto, and a pinch hitter due up in the bottom of the ninth. Cardinals trying to close out the Brewers 3-0 there in the top of the ninth. 8 shutout innings for Kyle McClellan. And a save chance here for, I believe, Eduardo Sanchez for St. Louis. If the right-hander gets it, he would be 4 for 4. Boy, the Brewers, even though they snapped their losing streak yesterday, they have not been scoring runs. They had a 7-game losing streak during which they scored 7 runs.
They get shut out 3 times in that stretch. Well, that's the last thing you expected from that Brewers ball club. We thought pitching was going to be their issue and that scoring runs was going to be something they would do by accident.
Sunday night game tonight is Atlanta at Philadelphia. Jair Jurgens is 3-0. Cole Hamels goes in at 4-1. All 4. Bruce on for the 3rd time. Nothing worse on the road than losing in the other team's final at bat. It's happened 3 straight times for the Rockies. Back-to-back walk-off wins for the Giants in that series. Mike Fontenot with a sac fly in the 9th yesterday. They are scoreless in the bottom of the 2nd. Happy belated birthday to Willie Mays. He turned 80 on Friday. The big celebration before the game. Caught part of Gomes' hand, maybe part of the bat as well, but he'll take first base.
Doesn't sound good.
I wish I could remember who wrote it, Bob, but in reading about Willie Mays with his 80th birthday this weekend, it's the idea of trying to put a player from one era into a different era. And I totally agreed with the premise, which was essentially of all the great players from 30, 40, 50 years ago, Willie Mays' skill set would fit in any era. And I'd have to agree with that.
I think so. I mean, he was, to the best of my knowledge, one of the first players who didn't really need base coaches. He had such great instincts for the game, and he was so fast that he could run faster than most guys while he was looking back over his shoulder to see what was happening in right center field. Certainly not the way you would teach it to a young player, but Willie Mays just wasn't your average player. He could do things that nobody else could do.
Marmol will tag Hernandez, and we'll head to the bottom of the 9th. Cincinnati 2, Chicago nothing. Cardinals and Cubs on WGN, 7 o'clock Central Time Tuesday night. Great pitching matchup, Carpenter and Zambrano.
Those two starting pitchers with the two opponents, you can throw all those numbers out. They don't really mean anything. When the Cubs and the Cardinals hook up, Chris Carpenter against Carlos Zambrano, must see.
Johnny Gomes is out. Chris Heisey in to play left with Francisco Cordero. Having a very busy series. Got his 5th save on Friday. Blew the save, took the loss on Saturday. Blew the save when Carlos Pena took him deep. Pitch, high fly deep to center. Stubbs back on the warning track. He's still back, and he's going to get it. And Carlos Pena, who has left the yard 3 times this week, has hit many more balls just like that over the first month plus.
Ooh. Just a little wind continuing to blow straight in from center field. Probably had something to say with this one. That ball is absolutely crushed to straightaway center field. Boy, when Stubbs took that one last look back there at the wall, I thought that thing might sneak up into the basket. So did Carlos Pena.
Fastball in there against Giovanni Soto. Blake DeWitt hit his first homer of the year yesterday, and he's on deck as a pinch hitter. Slider is outside. Slow breaking ball to make it 1-2. Two quick outs.
Much sharper slider today from Cordero. Some of the pitches that he's thrown in this series have just kind of spun up there and stayed in the strike zone. But much sharper today.
Actually looks like his velocity's down just a little bit. Fastball in the low 90s, slider in the low 80s. We saw a slider about, what, 87 earlier in this series. Right down the middle, 1-1. Blake DeWitt has become an excellent pinch hitter this season. Tell you what, he's done a lot better offensively here lately than he was early in the year and in spring training when he came into camp. Probably as the #1 guy at second base and ended up barely making the club. Never complained. Understood why he started the year on the bench and has continued to work hard and might be becoming a bigger part of this team. Almost hit him. That one up to 94. Foul out of play. According to Fangraphs, in general, Cordero's velocity down this season. Almost 2 miles an hour on his fastball and a slider. Driven into center. Stubbs is there, and the Reds take 2 of 3. Cordero, after blowing the game yesterday in the 9th, goes 1-2-3 to get the save today for Johnny Cueto. Final score, Reds 2, Cubs nothing.